Welcome back after a week's break. We are live. Welcome back to the pre-match of the fourth test match, and here we are. An exciting time. It's been raining quite a bit in Manchester, but
So
we
has it in
oh
Bangalore.
yeah, that's true. So has it where we stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, exciting time ahead. Hopefully, a lot of exciting cricket to come, and not the kind of scores that we have had in the past in this ground. This is something we will talk about. First of all, hi everyone to the chat. Hi Channel 2. Hi Vignesh. Hi Shrikant Star Edits Judge and a lot of you guys who have already been talking about stuff. If you guys are joining us for the first time, hit that like button. If you're joining us for the first time on this stream, again, like hit the like button. But if you're joining us for the first time, like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, we will talk about a lot of things because there's a lot to talk about. We will be here for about 40 minutes. So we will be here through the toss, except we will have our screens off because we'll get copyright stuff and we would want to know what happened at the toss. But we will talk about how India's done in this ground, how England's done in this ground, how England's done historically, how India's done historically. We'll talk about the pitch, we'll talk about average scores, we'll talk about the toss, we'll talk about everything that there is to talk about for you guys to be prepared before watching this game. So yeah, hi Adish, hi Dhruv, hi Divyansh, Natu Cody.
Nice. We got some new names in the chat, which is really nice to see.
Hi
Uh,
Sudarshan.
hey
Hi.
Sudarshan, what's up?
Hey, hi. Hi UPSC CSC aspirant. Damn.
Hope you can crack the exam.
That's a commitment that you have made by naming your YouTube.
Just the username.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just got a notification that you guys are live. We are live indeed. All right. Let's start and let's talk about the pitch and see how the pitch matches play out.
All right. So this one's going to be an interesting fixture because Manchester traditionally has tended to produce some of the more faster and bouncier pitches in England. Having said that, overhead conditions are going to be important. There is a bit of forecast for rain around. There was initially a forecast for rain today, but seems that it's only overcast as of now. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that throughout the test match, it is going to be fairly overcast. Now, apart from that, I think as a batter, if you do play your good shots, if you are a good player off the back foot, you are going to get value for your shots more or less. And even in terms of the average scores here, there's not much difference since 2018, where in Old Trafford, both in the first as well as the second innings, the average scores are almost identical, 337 and 338. So nothing much differentiating the kind of pitch and how it might play out through the days. And even in terms of England's recent record, which we will get to later, batting first or batting second, both of them have been equally rewarding, so to speak. So I think mainly it's going to be, this is one of those few pitches where toss will not matter as much as some of the other pitches where we've seen. And also, good cricket will have its value.
All right, let's go from the pitch and talk about Ben and his Jerry's, and that's the England team. All right, something to be concerned about with almost every other ground in England at this moment is the highest scorer historically in this ground is, of course, the number 4 batter, who, of course, also got 100 at Lords, Joe Root. So that is something to be concerned about, but not an advantage, just in the optimistic side of things, which I'm not really. Joe Root has only 100 in this ground across 11 matches, 19 innings. He, of course, has 750s. But yeah, the highest scorer in this ground is Joe Root. And apart from him, no one from the squad has really scored a lot of runs in terms of historical numbers. They have scored runs since 2020, which we will get to. But even in terms of wicket takers, the highest wicket taker historically in this ground is a man named Alec Bedser, and this is when he played between 1946 to 1955, so a long time ago. And the second highest wicket taker is Stuart Broad. In 11 matches, he took 46 wickets with an average of 20. Man, this Alec Betzer, if you want to know his numbers, so the highest wicket taker in this ground, he's only played 7 matches, picked up 51 wickets with an average of 13. Insane numbers. Even for at that time, these are like brilliant numbers. But like since 2020, let's talk about since 2020. England do have, they've done really, really well in this ground, which we will get into as a team. But since 2020, Ben Stokes is the highest scorer in this ground with an average of 72. He's had 200s and 250s in this ground. For someone who bowled his heart out in the last game, and for someone who's been criticized a little bit in terms of his batting because he hasn't scored a lot of runs, for him to come to this ground with 200s and 250s in his name since 2020, and England winning that last game, if I was an Indian fan, I would be scared. The second highest run scorer, of course, Joe Root with an average of 47. Zach Crawley, who's come under a lot of pressure into this test match, has an average of 59. He has 100 in this ground, but he also has a duck. So you would hope that we get those ducks. So, yeah, not a lot of runs. I mean, Ben Stokes, Joe Root have scored a lot of runs. Even Zach Rowley has good numbers in this ground. But something to consider is the fact that apart from them just scoring a lot of runs, they've also gotten a lot of wickets, except apart from Stuart Broad, who's still the highest wicket taker in this ground since 2020, the second highest is Chris Woakes. Again, someone who's coming under pressure, hasn't gotten a lot of wickets, hasn't really done well. We saw that in the fourth innings or the second innings, team innings for England with the ball. Chris Woakes wasn't really used much with the ball. It was mostly Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes. So for Chris Woakes' own confidence, he would want to take wickets. In 5 matches that he has played since 2020, he's picked up 27 wickets with an average of 15. These are scary numbers. But there was an article by Crick Info on Chris Woakes, and it's either the age factor or the fact that his pace has also come down, but it's his inconsistencies that's bothering him. Chris Woakes was known to be consistent, hitting the line and lengths again and again, and he hasn't been doing the same thing. It could either be form, it could either be an age thing, or it could either be the fact that the fast bowler is done for. We'll find out this test match. He's still playing, he's still in the 11. But if he wants to make a comeback, there's no better ground than this one. Apart from him, Ben Stokes, of course, Mark Wood, Jofra Archer, they've all picked up a couple of wickets. So that is something to look on, but they haven't picked up heaps of wickets. The only outlier in this list is Chris Woakes, who's picked up 27 wickets in these 5 matches. But this is where we come to the scary bit of England's record in Manchester. Historically, they have played 84 games, won 33 of them, drawn 36, and lost 15. All that's well and good. Like, we don't, as much as that might be scary, we don't need to worry about that. But since 2020, England have played 6 games and they've won 5 and drawn 1. So England haven't lost a game in Manchester since 2020. In fact, the toss also hasn't really mattered because they've lost most of the tosses. The one toss that they did win, they chose to bat, they chose to bowl, and that match ended in a draw. The other 4 occasions, actually the other 5 occasions, they either batted first or bowled first, and it didn't really matter to them. They ended up winning the match, and this is something to think about also because of India's record, which we will get into, and that is where Praatibh comes into play. Let's talk about Gill and his fins, and that's how India's done.
Yeah, let's talk about Gill and his fins. Whoever's just joining the stream, definitely drop a like so that this stream is pushed out to more people. But more importantly, Ashwin's absolutely dying of cough. So wish him a speedy recovery. But yeah, coming to India, this is going to be a very Edgbaston like ground in the sense that India have never won a test match over here. In the 9 test matches that they've played, we've drawn 5 and we've lost 4. So once again, that's added motivation for the boys to come here and possibly put in a performance like they did at Edgbaston, something that Gill will very likely address at the toss. But apart from that, the last time India did play here was in 2014, and only one player from that squad, that's Ravindra Jadeja, is still a part of the squad. In fact, very interestingly, from that 2014 squad, one of them is the coach, which is Gautam Gambhir at this point. So, yeah, India have a very interesting record here. There's not much I can go by in terms of numbers because literally no one's played here. That one time that Jaddu did play here, he got a wicket, return scores of 0 and 4. That's the only thing. So, that's something he will want to change. He is also in really good form, so he will look forward to that. But all in all, I think in terms of India as a unit, going into this test match, of course, there will be the nerves. Of course, they are 2-1 down. Of course, there are all of these injury concerns, which we will talk about in the playing 11 segment after the toss. But it will be interesting to see which way India go. Will they bring back Prasidh Krishna? Do they bring Anshul Kamboj into the mix? That's one thing to watch out for. And at number 3, I think it's still very likely going to be Karun Nair. But
Gill talked about it.
Yeah, it is going to be Karun Nair. So I think that's going to have a mixed opinion from y'all. Yeah, Gill and his fins is you. But yeah, apart from that, just in terms of some stats to let you guys know, anyways, the highest scorer here for India has been Sunil Gavaskar with 1 century to his name, 242 runs across 3 matches. And from the bowling front, it's been all of the old timers. It's been Mankad, it's been Abid Ali, it's been Amarnath, who've got less than 10 wickets. So really, this ground for India is not a very familiar place to come to. Something interesting is that Farooq Engineer is going to have a stand named after him at Old Trafford. So a stand or something, but that's going to be happening in.
Oh,
That is something to watch out for from an Indian point of view. We will get to the playing 11 after the toss, but for India, they will just hope that they can carry the batting confidence and the bowling confidence from all of the good performances and rhythm they have and come into this test match fresh.
All right, that's been the Indian team. Let's talk about featured 11, which we will talk about after
Yeah.
the toss. But we know England squad. So England have Liam Dawson coming in place of Shoaib Bashir. Interestingly, Liam Dawson made his debut in the same series that Karun Nair made his debut for the Indian team. So back when Karun Nair scored that 300, Liam Dawson made his debut. And the last time he played for England was in 2017. So a lot of people thought he was done and dusted, but we have a very interesting stat about him, which we will, let's just get
Yeah,
into it.
we
Let's
can
talk
get
about
into
the
it.
stats. And yeah,
Awesome. So I think we'll go from the top, which is got to do with the series itself. And India have come back losing 2 tests in a series only twice. So this is going to be an uphill task. India 2-1 down. It's not often that they've been able to come back. Only West Indies 74-75 and Australia 77-78. Both times they went on to lose the decider. So even from there, it's not very promising signs, and it is against the flow of cricket, so to speak. Joe Root goes into Manchester as the fifth highest run scorer in Test cricket. He's got 13,259 runs. By the time it ends, he could move to number 2. That's a huge jump, and he'll catch Ricky Ponting there at 13,378. That means he would only be behind the great man Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Now, apart from that, Shubman Gill came into this tour with just 1893 Test runs and an average of somewhere around 33. He's added to that. He's added 607 runs so far, and that's taken his runs up by 30%. So that just puts into perspective. And even his average, that's why, has shot up into the 40s, mid 40s, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so Shubman Gill will want to build on that. And this is where the final stat talks about Liam Dawson, where he comes into the game at the back of some excellent form in first class cricket, right? So out of the 15 5-wicket hauls he's got, 12 of them, including three 10-wicket hauls in matches, have come since 2021. So he is a transform bowler. In fact, if you go around the internet, you will see that the general consensus is that the England squad has only gotten stronger with Dawson's inclusion.
that's true. And those were the stats for you. Let's stick with featured 11s because we will wait until the toss, and then we will come back after the toss and then talk about the playing 11s and all of that. But yeah, Liam Dawson in the squad just means a lot. I mean, he also bats and gets a lot more wickets. So something interesting is,
Mm.
there a lot of people were also considering Rehan Ahmed, who's also done well,
Interesting.
but he plays Division 2. But he's
Right.
picked up a lot of runs. He's picked up a lot of wickets, scores a lot of runs. He bats in the top 6 for Leicestershire.
It's very interesting that he
Yeah,
bats in the top 6.
yeah,
That's a
bats.
little surprising.
Yeah, and gets a lot of wickets, and he's done extremely well. I saw a post yesterday. I don't really remember his stats, but he has been doing really well.
Mm.
But yeah, he hasn't gotten a game as of yet. But that is that. All right. Why do you think the Indian management is preferring batting all rounders over bowlers at the number 8 slot? Why can't we play 4 proper bowlers plus Jadeja, Pranay?
I think this is a question that Ashwin and I have personally spoken a lot about, even on the lives. It's something that we've covered. And honestly, like, we don't see this strategy working long term
Yeah,
because, as you said, I think when we don't have proper bowlers, we're never going to get those 20 wickets consistently.
true.
But I still feel like for now it seems to work because Bumrah just seems to be carrying a lot of the bowling.
Yeah,
A couple of the fast bowlers are now in rhythm. That's coming good. But in terms of spinners, and I mean, these are all spin bowling all rounders, right? Apart from
yeah.
NKR, who's probably going to be out now, pulled out of the series. Here it's okay because, like, there's not that much spin assistance. But in India, can they just play with these two spinners? Will they need a specialist spinner? So that is
True.
something to think about.
Yeah, I think yesterday. So, a couple of things that Gill did confirm is the fact that Karun Nair will continue to bat at number 3. He was talking about how Karun Nair is just a 50 away from things being clicked for him.
Possibly.
And so he will probably bat at number 3. But something interesting is during the slip practice, Sai Sudarshan was in the gully. So it was Karun Nair at first, KL Rahul second. I didn't really see 3 4. But gully was occupied by Sai Sudarshan. Does that mean Sai Sudarshan will play? I don't know. But he might just be practicing. But yeah, a couple of interesting things. And Anshul Kamboj did have a really long session yesterday, but so did Prasadh Krishna. And I mean, Shubman Gill in the press conference said they'll decide today morning, but I'm sure if Anshul Kamboj was to make his debut, he would have known yesterday. I'm sure
Yeah.
Gill just doesn't want to like reveal the playing 11. I don't know what that's about. But yeah,
So plus, I think that's interesting that you bring up the Sai Sudarshan bit because NKR was batting. I mean, essentially 6 or 7
yeah,
is where he would have batted. So you have Jaddu, Washi, and
yeah.
you have the 3 fast bowlers.
Yeah, he's just sticking with 5 with
Uh,
no one else to bowl in the middle. Unless you want Jaiswal to bowl some leg spin. We got a lot of success for winning in Sena in this 4 pacers and maybe Jaddu or Ash and fast bowling fast bowlers.
Mm.
And a fast bowling all rounder is I think what you meant. But yeah. Yeah, Vignesh is damn Kuldeep. Yeah, it's to be fair, who would you drop? Like you won't
Uh,
play three spinners and Washington's in the he's done enough, I guess. He picked up a lot of wickets and he picked up a four for.
yeah, 4.
Yeah, and in the second innings. And so you can't really drop him. He got those couple of runs. I still think Kuldeep Yadav should be in the squad, but then
Where
that'll
do you
just become
bring him?
too many changes. So
True.
yeah, Sai Sudarshan was shadow batting also a lot on the pitch. Yeah, exactly. So there has the only thing is then you're just playing with 5 bowlers,
Bowlers, yeah.
out of
Of
which is
which
2
2
spinners.
spinners and 2 all-round spinners who've. I think the fact that Washi's done well in the last game
Yeah.
might give them the confidence to play Sai Sudarshan.
And Jadeja is more of a
possibly
batting all
6.
rounder in England.
Yeah. Damn, okay. If Sai comes in, is he playing 6 or is he
Probably.
playing?
I mean, I'll be shocked if he plays 3.
Yeah, that'll be shocking.
Predict, guys. First of all, Minhas, does India choke while chasing?
Not really, because India have never really chased that much in England, anyways.
Yeah.
So it was always going to be a tough chase to begin with. That's something that we'll have to actually look at if there's a particular stat that says they find it tougher chasing.
Jordan, hey, hi. Is this the first time in our life? Anyway, we have an outlier named Bumrah and rhythm bowler named Siraj. Other bowlers are newbies. That's true. To be fair, after the first test match and second, Siraj has come into his own.
Yeah.
He's looked good. It's just that the consistency needs to continue. I feel like Karuna will be dropped for Sai. I will be shocked after yesterday's press conference. If Karuna is dropped, I will be really, really surprised. Unless they watched a video. So then I wouldn't be surprised. Right. Pranay, I remember Gumby saying in an interview that having 6 bowling options has helped the team winning the championship trophy. But do you think having 6 bowling options in the test match is necessary? Yeah.
Having those many options?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
sure. But not necessarily all-rounders. I think Gambhir's philosophy works in white ball, like when he wants to play the all-rounders. Because that's a format where there is a definitive end. There are a certain number of
True.
overs. So it makes sense in that scenario. But for red ball, I think you still need 5 proper bowlers and then your 6th and 7th
The thing
options.
is, so when you're talking about 6 bowlers, it's the fact that we have 2 spinners. So we have 3 fast bowlers. You want a 4th in these conditions because okay, so the basic idea is if you have Siraj and Bumrah starting off with the new ball, and let's say Anshul Kamboj or Prasidh, who doesn't matter who. So let's just say Anshul Kamboj is your first change. You want another pacer to go with him. You don't want Siraj to have an extended spell, and even before the 20th over, you don't want a spinner to come on. So I will be really surprised if they don't have a 4th pacer. It'll be
Yeah.
shocking because then how do you? First of all, it's Manchester. First of all, it's overcast, and you know your wicket takers are going to be your fast bowlers, hopefully. And so you will I don't know how you're going to juggle around 3 fast bowlers and have a spinner come in even before the 20th
Yeah,
over.
that will be a very interesting thing to look at. But does Thakur come back then? Question.
I mean, you have no other choice. I guess I have no idea. India has only chased 150 plus twice in the last 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Gaba and last year and Ranchi. Gill and Dhruv Jurel. Yeah, it's interesting. Dhruv Jurel is still not part of a conversation. Like if you want someone at number 6 and if you want a pure batter, just have Dhruv. I don't know what is why are they so stubborn about him? I'm kind of having a feeling that we will win more sessions and eventually lose the test match in this time as well.
But I feel like that's been the story for a while.
Anshul Kamboj gets his cap.
Oh,
Good on him.
damn, that's good.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, much deserved. Ahead of a couple of people, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. He was in Bangalore a couple of days ago. Good on him there. Oh. Vaibhav Arora, Anshul, Thakril, Noor. A lot of names. Vijay Vaishak. Oh yeah, Vijay Kumar Vaishak. The above are the fast bowlers consistently bowling well in Ranji circuit. Your take on each bowler. Right. So Vijay Kumar Vaishak has just been in the Ranji circuit in the last couple of years. So you will need to give him a lot more seasons. And he was injured last year as well. So and even Vaibhav Arora for that matter, he was also coming off an injury. The others, I'm not going to say much because Anshul Kamboj has been bowling
Yeah.
decent. He got a 10 for in the Ranji season, but that was the only fur that he got, if I'm not wrong.
True. He did ball well in the England
Yeah,
Lions.
That's
I think
true.
that's where he looked really good.
I don't want to see Prasid and also Thakur if they're going to bowl like that. Yeah. So according to Soham, Anshul Kamboj got his cap, so I'm going to believe that. Justified selection, it's Kamboj. He was very impressive in the India A games. Yes, got to swing the ball both ways. Wasn't express pace, but if you have Siraj and Bumrah, I don't think you'd really care for express pace, although it would be nice. But in
It would be
Manchester, if the
nice.
ball is
Yeah.
going to swing, and if he can swing the ball both ways, put on him. I still don't see that in crick info that he's got.
Okay. Mayur says David Bumble. Okay, Lloyd. And Jared Kimber said that almost all matches at Old Trafford go to day 5. Do you think
A
a
run
run
fest
fest like
like
Edgebaston?
depends on the conditions, to be
Yeah.
honest. If it's going to be cloudy, I mean, in 2014, oh, to be fair, you know what? I'll ask you a question and you shall answer it while I do some
Ashwin's
research.
going to put me on spot. But yeah, I think in the meanwhile, answering your question, uh, sorry, weather itself is quite different compared to Edgebaston, where that was pretty dry, so to speak. And now this is properly overcast, so it
True.
won't be as easy to bat.
Yeah.
I won't expect as many runs, but even from the averages that we have seen since 2018, typically teams do get good scores. Like 300 plus is kind of the mandate, it's kind of the norm or the par. So, from that point of view, it will be interesting, but I think clouds are going to play an important part.
Yeah, that's true. Clouds and the rain.
And the rain, yeah.
I was just trying to find out if matches have gone. So from Jan 1st, 2020, there have been two scores that have been 400 plus,
Mm.
and there have been just one score, or two scores above 300, 350 plus. So four scores more than 350. That's
Manchester.
just that's something. And all of them, oh my god, there has been a 500 plus. Good lord.
Uh,
Okay, so there's been two 400 plus, there's been two to 350 plus, and then there have been one 592 in the second innings versus Australia. So a lot of these have come in the first and second innings, if not all. That's a lot of runs.
a good batting pitch first couple of days for sure.
Yeah. Good lord. 500 plus. Yeah, but it will be a lot of runs. It's only that how much will it rain, how much will the overcast conditions come to play. But the
Mm.
pitch in itself has always been flat, or considered to be flat since 2020. That was also something people talked about. The only thing people considered before coming to Manchester is the fact that the ball might just swing more, and that was something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Fourth inning strike rate of spinners is 40ish, and average at the fourth innings is 219. Even under overcast conditions, this ground acts weird. Yeah, that's because the pitch in itself is
Yeah.
very, very flat. It's not like, I mean, Lords was also flat, but it's not like a lot of grounds where you have a green patch. Old Trafford, Manchester, it was always a brown.
It's a hard wicket. It's actually bouncier than a couple of other England
Yeah, that's
wickets as
true.
well. And yeah, I think the fourth innings stat is also to do with the spin itself, the wariness of the pitch by then.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so 2 minutes before the toss, don't leave this because we will, of course, we will go away and come back. But yeah,
If anything, like this stream in the meanwhile.
yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We will come back with the live doesn't stop, which is going off screen because copyright issues, and we will come back after the toss. See you. Unmuted. Uh, you know. Oh,
Well,
wow. We'll. I am sure. I mean, so first of all, if you haven't followed the toss, England once again won the toss 4 out of 4. Shubman Gill or Ben Stokes, they have to do something or the other
India
to change.
cannot catch a break with the toss,
Yeah,
dude.
even I saw something with the Indian women's too, if I'm not wrong. Something long. I mean, they won the toss yesterday. But anyway, right. So England have won the toss, elected to bowl first. No surprises there. They love to chase, and the conditions was an excuse. I just think Ben Stokes just enjoys to chase, and I think that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Hmm.
And yeah, they've made one change. We already talked about it. Liam
Liam
Dawson comes in
Dawson.
place of Shoaib Bashir, but India's
India's made a gazillion changes after all of the chatter we had yesterday with Gill saying yes, Karun's going to
yeah,
bat
which
3.
shocks me.
Sai Sudarshan's come back into the squad. He is going to be batting number 3 because he's a direct replacement for Karun. And for the forced changes of NKR and Akashdeep both going out, you have Shardul Thakur in place of Nitish Kumar Reddy. And as rightly pointed out, Anshul Kamboj makes his debut,
Yeah.
which is at least good, hopefully.
It looked like Karun was going to play seeing Gill's. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Pranay. Yeah, I am absolutely like I have no words. Why say all of that at the press conference if this is what you're going to do? Like if
Uh,
you're going to say he's just 150 away from clicking and all of that, then don't say stuff like that if you're going to drop him the next day.
well,
I am
maybe I think from here, the one way this can go is that Karun's still going to be with the squad, but he's not going to get games here. He will be looked at in the subcontinent. That's all I
possibly.
can make out of this.
Yeah, but yeah, we are back and Sai Sudarshan hopefully does well. He
Yeah.
didn't have the best of first games, but he also looked nervous. In the
Yeah.
second innings, he looked quite fine, I think. He scored the 30 odd runs. He said Arshdeep for Kamboj. Did he? I heard
Oh,
Kamboj. Made me feel bad about it. Nanda Kishore. Didn't Gill tell? Yeah, yeah. I am completely shocked. Shubha's bamboozled everybody playing the long game. I see. Yeah, I really have no idea. I mean, you say
yeah.
that, so I want to know what Karun Nair feels. So in the dressing room, he might have been told that hey, you're going to be dropped. In the
Yeah.
press conference, he hears that the captain's talking about backing Gill. The next day in the toss, he's dropped. If I was him, I would be embarrassed.
I mean, yeah, it is a little sad, but I also am not surprised
Yeah, I'm not
with the
surprised by it. I'm just
Gambhir
surprised
management.
by the
Surprised at the methodology in
yeah.
which it has happened. Yeah,
Yes.
fair. Sequence of events was not great. I feel like he wanted Karun, but somebody else wanted Sai. Ooh. Rift in the dressing room. Let's go. But yeah, you never know, dude. Like, and also, how much is Shubman in charge versus Gotham in charge? All of
An
that.
interesting stat.
Yeah.
No team has ever won the toss here, chosen to bowl first, and won a match.
Maybe we have a repeat of Edge Baston.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just maybe. It's just day one. I like to be optimistic on this day at least. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Looking ominous with the clouds up there, though.
Yeah, and there is a bit of grass
There is
too.
a bit of grass. Yeah, it is going to be an interesting session for India. They will, again, they just need to bat out the first hour or
Yeah,
two.
that's true.
They need to get to lunch without having a collapse, which they managed to do quite well so far.
Yeah.
But the added, actually, we can go to matchups. This would be,
All right, let's
yeah,
let's go to matchups and let's
yeah,
talk about right.
matchups. Yeah, I think the only thing here now is that because it's a green pitch, India is batting first. The conditions are overcast. Jofra Archer to the top 3. If he gets going, which he did when he came back, that is going to be something to watch out for. That's one of the first key battles that I'm a little nervous about,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah, true. Let's answer this question in our live. We made a video on this, but might as well because I was itching to do this. So, oh damn it. Oh yeah. So Vijay asks why Sudarshan ahead of Ishwaran. Why Sudarshan in the Test squad is a conversation in itself. But he got a chance in the first game, so you make him play here again, right? But why not Abhimanyu Ishwaran? Now there are a lot of fan favorites for Abhimanyu Ishwaran. It's not like we dislike him, but his numbers suggest otherwise. So he has a amazing first class average, closing in on 50 almost after almost 100 run first class games. But then when you take him out of the subcontinent, he's played what 27 innings outside the subcontinent for India A.
Yeah.
So again, India A matches outside the subcontinent, he's played 27 innings. He has only 100 and averages in the 20s. And this is essentially why he's not getting a game because right, so you perform well in India, you perform well in Ranji, that's well and good. Then when you get selected in the India A squad, you've got to perform there. And Sai Sudarshan, in fact, has. He scored 100 against Australia A before the Border Gavaskar Trophy. They've that scored 100, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And yeah, even in this before the England Lions, oh, sorry, no, before the England series started against the England Lions, Karun Nair scored a double 100. Sai Sudarshan didn't really play. Dhruv Jurel scored 50s. So did Abhimanyu Ishwar. He
Yeah.
scored a good 80, but so KL Rahul in his first game scored 100. And so again, so even when uh, Abhimanyu Ishwaran scored these runs, he had the lowest average for the top 6 batters from the squad, from the England Lions squad. So again, just says something about the amount of runs that he needs to be scoring versus amount of runs he isn't.
Yeah, it's just about. I mean, firstly, just the position itself. He is naturally an opener. There's no competition there.
True.
Even him at number 3, that 80 he did score at number 3,
Yeah.
but he just needs to be scoring a lot more runs
Yeah.
in these A tours.
So yeah, you can continue with the matchup. So Jofra versus Jaiswal, and
Yeah, Jofra Jaiswal, is he going to open him up once again? That is something to watch
Yeah.
out for. Little worried for Jaiswal. He could get off to an absolute flyer and then
True.
just get one delivery that he pokes
Yeah.
at and he's gone. That Sai Sudarshan versus so Sai is going to be number 3 today. So at least I thought when Karun Nair was playing, he handled Jofra Archer pretty well.
yeah,
Is Sai Sudarshan going to be able to replicate that if he comes in at 10 for 1? I hope he can,
True.
but time will tell. So that's one thing. And the next matchup is Liam Dawson coming back
Yeah.
versus Pant and Gill, because a lot of times Shoaib Bashir was introduced when Pant and Gill were out there, because at some point they would look to take the attack, especially Pant to a spinner. Now with Liam Dawson, with the kind of spinner that he is,
Yeah.
do they still risk him against especially Pant? That is something to watch out for.
India have lost 14 international tosses in a row. An incredible stat. You know, a lot of you guys are concerned about how short the batting lineup is, which is quite interesting. We still have the same length of the batting lineup. I mean, yeah, Nitish Kumar.
Shardul Thakur's
Yeah.
Batting doesn't
Yeah.
exude much
Yeah,
confidence.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. But we are just a batter short. If anything, I can't even say we have a bowler because how many overs will he get?
I hope at least that they use Thakur
Yeah,
better
true.
in this match.
Because if they don't, then you just know that his career is done for. But to be fair, this is the only squad they could go with. You had no other choice. You would need to have Shardul in because, like we talked about, like who else will bowl apart from the 3 fast bowlers? And they're stubborn enough to not drop the 2 spinners. So you got to do something.
Plus, I mean, yeah, like the fourth fast bowler thing is the other option you only had was Prasidh, and he's 0 with the bat. He can
Yeah.
barely hold it. So
Still can't believe how Kas is playing. I thought he was done after the second test, and he's playing the 4th test now. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he had a bit of a toe problem. He didn't have much of an issue, and he tried to figure that out in the second test match itself. But just says something about him. Even Siraj. I mean, the man's not getting a rest. And in the press conference, he did talk about how he is also thinking about workload management, but he wants to play as much as he possibly can. And I think that's a great attitude to have for someone who hasn't been injured a lot yet. He still
fingers
needs,
crossed.
he
Yeah.
still needs to take care of his body. Right. Do you think they look at the toss and just award the toss to the opposition?
Dude, I don't even know what to say. It doesn't matter because when India's at the toss, they just can't seem to get it right.
Liam Dawson still plays cricket. Yeah, I mean he's been doing quite well.
Harsh, how long have you been not watching cricket?
India has 5 lefties in this batting lineup. That is true. Jaiswal, Sai, Pant, Jadeja, Washi. I think Ben Stokes will have a ball, and even Archer. Archer's. Oh, you know what? I'll actually look this up. Archer's average against the left-handers is
Insane.
scary, is what I was going to say, but insane is yet another word.
Yeah.
I'll give you a question for you to answer. How many overs will Shardul Thakur bowl, or how many overs would you like him to bowl more than?
If I would like him to bowl, okay, let's say if it's 100 over innings, I would want Shardul to be able to bowl at least 15 to 20 overs.
All right, against the left-handers, he has an average of 14. Yeah, so that is scary. Against
is
the
hectic.
right-handers, he has an average of 22, which in itself is good. But 14 is, especially when you have 5 left-handers in the batting lineup, that is a matchup to watch out for. To be fair, I don't think Rishabh Pant was all that troubled by Archer. He did get Pant out, but I think that was more to do with his bottom hand and how conscious he was of that.
True.
And even Jadeja wasn't necessarily troubled by him. Except for Jaiswal, I don't think, I mean, Sai Sudarshan now, I don't think anyone would be troubled by him? Is all the sledging getting into the player's head? Asks.
No, not really. I think it's normal banter. Maybe it got a little close to the line, but still fun.
Play a bowler or a batter. Instead, we do neither with Shardul. Very nice.
Well.
Yeah. We got Shrikant spamming the same thing before GTA 6. Is he spamming?
Srikanth, what are you saying?
Man, I want some. Oh, he wants us to talk about Gambhir, the coach.
Hey,
And
we'll
what
do that at the end of the series. We'll definitely, very likely, do a video on it depending on which
Yeah,
way this goes.
true.
So watch out for that. We'll also talk about it in one of the lives towards the end of the series.
Yeah, boys take on GG, the Red Bull coach. Red Ball coach. Red Bull coach. But yeah, we will do it. Decent first innings total, right? So let's talk about that. India is going to bat first. It's
Mm.
overcast. There is a bit of grass. It will be spicy. We have 15 minutes to go, so we'll talk about this now. Right. So yeah, it will be a little spicy. Of course, the usual thing is see how the first half plays out and then go on from there.
Yeah.
And then you would hopefully then predict a score that would be good. But even before the over starts, what's your PP? That's Praatibh predictions for those of you guys who don't know.
I
He's
think,
Praatibh. He's going to make a prediction.
hello. I think India is going to get to 300,
Yeah.
320. But I don't
Think
see
that's
them
good.
scoring more than that.
I don't even know if that's good enough, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good enough, but this is what I think India can get and compete.
Fair. So that is one prediction for you guys with India scoring about 320 runs. Will meeting up with Man United confer India with some luck at Manchester? Or will they end up like Man U themselves, 2 ranks short of relegation? Damn. I would have been happy if they went and met the City
City.
team just because why not? But I mean, sure. Redemption arc for Lord Shardul. Yeah, I want to see Shardul Thakur step it up. He
Yeah.
was very disappointing in the 2 games. One
Just
game,
one
yeah,
game.
that he got to
Yeah.
play. Didn't get a lot of overs, didn't get any runs. So yeah, Shardul Thakur will need to step up, especially if he's also used as a batter, which he's replacing Nitish Kumar Reddy. So
Plus, I mean, this is the kind of wicket that will help Shardul. If there's a little bit of grass, there's overcast conditions, he's going to swing the ball. Like, this is the best that he can hope for, honestly.
yeah, true. Need a gritty innings here. Hoping KL comes good again. I'm guessing a score around 250 plus. I think 250 plus will be quite less, to be honest. With the
Yeah.
track record that this ground has in the last 5 years, 250 will be scary in the first innings. I think
300 is what
England
we
will
need.
then score 3,000. And then we will trail by 1,750 runs.
Horrible math
Oh,
on
yeah, sorry,
that.
2,000, 2,750 runs. I forgot I said 3,000.
Yeah.
It will be it will be good to see Siraj play after that emotional test. Yeah, I mean, talking about the bowling, we will talk about that. I'm hoping India doesn't bowl today.
Oh, no, please.
Yeah. So, right. So, 3 minutes before we end this live, couple of things for the Indian batters to watch out for is the first star. Law of averages, KL Rahul might just fail. And
Jaiswal might just step it up.
yeah, and hopefully Jaiswal does step it up. For someone who scored 100 in the first test match, he only averages in the mid 30s. But to be fair, again, it's his first series in England. So we are never going to be that harsh on him.
True.
But he's one of the highest scorers for the Indian team. He has an average of 50 plus. If he fails this test match, his average might just come down below 50. So I'm sure that is being from Mumbai, I'm sure it's in his mind. I won't be surprised if it's in his mind.
Yeah, very possible.
Yeah.
Need him to come good, honestly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, first half will be interesting. If someone does fail, Sai Sudarshan will be interesting to watch out for. Damn. Srikanth, thank you so much for the super chat. Boys might take for workload management, bench the player permanently in home and use them in Sena. Makes more sense to play Bumrah in Sena than home. I completely agree with that. Good.
You do? You
Yeah.
don't want to play Bumrah in India?
You don't need him to play. Like if you have Akashdeep and
Spinners
Siraj,
and-
and 3 spinners.
Fair.
Unless you're playing someone like an Australia, then
Yeah.
you might as well make him play first.
I mean,
1 or 2
if you're
matches.
going to rest Bumrah for series like possibly Bangladesh
Yeah.
or Sri Lanka, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I can see that making sense. Yeah,
But yeah, you would want Bumrah to play against Australia.
yeah, I
like
would want
New
him to
Zealand or-
play Sena for sure
No, even against Australia, like in
at
India.
home.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Some of the matches, I think he should play all matches in Sena country, but he's
Yeah.
not. It's a video we will talk about if Jasprit Bumrah gets special treatment, and if that is okay, it's a video we'll eventually make on. But yeah, think about the first start. Think about how India needs to bat. See, something to observe is how much the ball moves. If there's seam and swing, how
Yeah.
KL Rahul's leaving the ball. If Jaiswal is leaving the ball, and if Sai Sudarshan comes into play in the first 30 minutes, how fidgety does he actually look? So that might just talk about his nervousness. And
Yeah.
yeah, that is what it is. It'll be an interesting test match. Hopefully, by the end of the day, we are all smiles once again.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
So far, it's been good. I think we've mostly returned with smiles
yeah, that's true.
on day one at least.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, India's batted well when they've been put in first. Expect the same, but this is a spicier pitch.
Yeah,
And the conditions are spicier.
yeah. So that's been our live. This has been a pre-match. We will see you guys at 11:30 p.m. after the day's play, and then review and talk about how the day has gone about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys always for supporting us. Shrikant, thank you so much for the super chat. All of you guys, thank you so much for joining in for the to begin with and asking questions. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.